Thanks for inviting us in tonight. This is a story that has gripped so many people across the state of Indiana and the country. An Indianapolis couple on a cross-country road trip ending up stranded in the mountains of Nevada, stuck in their car without food or water. Beverly Barker was rescued off the mountain. Her husband, Ronnie, did not make it. Tonight, Beverly sits down with Anne Marie to talk for the first time about what went wrong, the hardships they endured, and despite it all, what she still considers a miracle on the mountain.
And I totally believed in God, but I never felt I was worthy of a miracle.
Beverly Barker's back home after a journey that changed her life forever.
He meant the world to me.
It was an ordeal where she deepened her faith.
We knew God was there.
This is video from the rescuers, and it reveals the remote spot on a mountain in Nevada where Beverly and Ron Barker's camper and car got stuck for 9 days. They relied on GPS and traveled over rocky, rough terrain.
It looked perfectly fine to us. It looked like all the other dirt roads, and so we didn't think anything about it. And then all of a sudden, the road wasn't there anymore.
The big RV was stuck, so the couple spent the night planning to simply retrace their tracks in their trailing car the next morning. Eventually, the car got stuck too, and it was at an angle that made it difficult for them to get in and out. And that's where Ron and Beverly sat for days. No cell service, no food, water, or supplies.
We knew we were in trouble.
And soon their family did too. The Barkers were traveling from Oregon, headed to Arizona, when they went missing in Nevada. Their family traced a gasoline purchase and cell phone pings those very first days that they went missing around Dyer and Silver Peak. And then they reached out to authorities asking for help. And even though eventually the camper and car were stuck right between those locations provided by the family, rescuers didn't arrive.
We were thirsty, but we weren't ever hungry, except he was breathing hard because he couldn't breathe. He basically had one lung.
The couple focused on honking the horn, conserving the gasoline and battery, and they saw an overnight snow as a gift.
We were comforted in so many ways by what God did. When we woke up to that foot of snow, I said, well, I don't think this is what we need. Well, obviously it was what we needed. We had N95 masks in the plastic, and he took those and then put snow in those and brought them in, and we ate the snow out of those.
The nights were cold, and the days it warmed to 55 degrees. They passed time by watching the clouds.
During the day, it was the most beautiful place in the world.
And it's the last place Ronnie would see.
He told me, Bev, I'm dying, and I said, I know you are.
That had to be awful.
It was, in a lot of ways, I didn't think I'd ever be able to live without Ronnie. But God taught me I could.
Beverly, who for some time now has relied on a walker and wheelchair to get around, knew it was up to her to collect the snow to fight dehydration.
With reading the Bible and making me realize that, yeah, I can have miracles too, because it was a miracle I could walk down there every day. And then he actually died on the 4th at 3:12, and I was still in the back seat with him.
What was the last thing he said to you?
I love you. And I said, I love you too. He said, I know it's time. And he said, yeah, it's time. He was seeing Ananias and kind of in a light.
Ronnie went on to say that Ananias from the Bible said that the camper would be found. She climbed to the front seat, kept honking the horn. 26 hours later, rescuers found that stranded RV.
They're miracle workers.
They backtracked and found the car a few miles away.
And they heard the horn. And is that you? And I thought, yeah, come and get me, you know.
It was a rescue and a recovery. Multiple crews with specialized equipment worked all day to dig out the vehicles and then head back down the mountain.
I think what happened was supposed to happen the way it happened. We knew God was there. We knew he was going to take Ronnie, but it was okay then because I knew where Ronnie was going.
Amazing to see Bev and hear her faith through this really heartbreaking story, isn't it?
Yeah, that being the only thing that they had to lean on,
Right.
and then of course the only thing that's sustaining her now. It's just giving me chills.
Yeah, and did such a great story there. And today, family and friends gathered for the memorial service to remember Ronnie. He was 72 and preparing to celebrate 40 years of marriage with Bev this fall. His funeral takes place tomorrow.
His family has set up a GoFundMe, raising money for Ronnie's services, and leftover money will be donated in Ronnie's name to an organization that aids the search for missing persons. We've got that link posted tonight on WTHR.com.